Flipside Music. Welcome to What the F.A.Q, episode
5.
Cinco. Season 3.
Yes.
I'm here, as always, with
Dylan?
And we're here to answer your questions.
Yes, to some extent.
Right. So, jumping right in.
Let's see, RJB says, hey guys, what pedal or pedals would you recommend to get a similar sound to the Katana Brown setting? So the Katana amp from Boss Brown setting, which is based on the, more or less the EVH modded Marshall, which I think there's still speculation whether the Marshall was actually modded. A lot of people believe he just used a Variac, and that was it. And the Variac, lowered the voltage, so it kind of caused it to sag a little more and saturate a little more. So, but yeah, basically that like hot rodded '80s Marshall tone.
So I mean, the 5150 pedal from MXR.
Yeah, that would
get you there.
I think the Rev G4.
Rev 4, yeah, G4 will get you there. To be honest, an old Distortion Plus.
Yeah, it'll depend on the amp.
Yeah, old MXR Distortion Plus could get you there, depending on what you're pushing it through.
Right.
Also, I think the if you can find one, the Mad Professor 1.
Oh yes, that was a
a really good kind of 80s kind of brownish sound pedal. So those are good places to start.
Yeah, I personally love the G4 out of that group. I mean, the 5150 is right there too, but it's a little bit more.
It's definitely more gaining.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah,
the squealies. You can get a lot of squealies faster.
Yes, and I feel like it's a little more compressed, more like the actual PV 5150 style amp. Whereas like the, I don't know. I feel like the Rev I feel like the Rev G4 just gets a little bit closer, especially too because like the Rev, if you back it off, you can kind of even get that Billy Gibbons Texas kind of blues tone.
Yeah, it's fatter, Marshall-y kind of thing.
Yeah, because it has like this, I don't know, it's something about that one that's just more open to me than a lot of the other distortion pedals out there.
That's a great pedal.
Yeah, I'm sure you could kind of get there with the Friedman as well. That's one
you get there with the LPD pedal too.
Yes, yeah, the 87 will certainly get you there.
The LPD 87 will probably get you there. And then along with that, get yourself a Phase 90.
Yeah. My only issue with the Friedman, since I brought it up, was just no mids control, which to me, the Marshall sound is all about the mid-range. So without that, it's kind of weird. But anyway.
So I'd say that's a good place to start.
Yeah, it gives you a good list to kind of research.
Next, we got Andy Dion. More on the tuners. What tuners do you recommend for upgrading stock ones on a Squier Strat?
If it's a classic vibe, depending on what it is, like if it's the vintage style tuners, Hipshot makes some really cool vintage looking ones that are actually locking. Yeah. And so I would probably go with those just for tuning stability.
Grovers are always good.
Yeah.
You can use those. I think Fender kind of uses ping, but they use a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
none of it's branded.
Right.
But I mean, if you're going to upgrade from a Squier, I think Grovers aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Right.
So those are good. Everybody's going to tell you something different. The Hipshot ones are really good. Yeah. That's actually what he's referring to when we were talking last week about, and I was saying that I was going to replace the tuners on 2 of my guitars. So what I did is I put the Hipshots on those because I have Hipshot on my Texas Toast guitar, and that guitar just is stable as hell.
Yeah.
So
and even Spurzels are solid, but it's another locking tuner. It's just I know for sure like Hipshot in terms of the vintage look. Like if you still want to maintain the look, they have several ones that are locking that also have like the open gears, which is pretty nice too. Because the open gears, this is something a lot of people don't always think about, but like with open gears, if the gear ever strips, you can just pop another one in there. Whereas like the closed ones are a lot harder to deal with.
To get into it. You're just hoping it never strips.
Right.
So that's what those are some suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a flurry of suggestions today. Mr. Coombs, our preferred Canadian YouTuber. He says a question for this week is, what are your thoughts on the new Squier Contemporary series? Which I haven't looked at a ton of them. I've just looked at some of like the more, like they were doing that double humbucker Strat with...
with Floyd.
Yeah,
we got a couple of those coming in.
Well, there was that one, and then they're doing like a more traditional stripped down Strat that's basically just volume, tone, pickup selector switch, and 2 humbuckers.
That's kind of like the old Strat. When they went to the rock Strat, sort of.
Oh, sorry.
But I like them. I mean, I get it. You gotta the thing with a regular Strat is like it's iconic. It's been around forever. But you have to have variations of it a lot of guys have used variations of it. Like,
well, yeah, the whole Super Strat, everything was,
but even still, you're looking like Maiden and shit like that, and bands that were playing, harder rock bands from back in the day that used Strats, they just hot rodded them.
Right.
And there's certain things that they're going to want, whether it's like a 12 to 16 fretboard, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't think, I like it if that's the style I was going to be playing.
Yeah, I think, to me, like, the Strat shape and Strat,
Stratiness?
Yeah, like, the whole Strat model is, to me, one of the most flexible ones out there. You can do anything with it. You can take it anywhere. The Super Strats can do just about anything. So it's like if you were going to get, stuck with one model, like, they might not be the most flashy always. They can be, but they're not always. But I was going to say, in terms of just flexibility as a guitar, I think Super Strats are the
Hey, friends.
There's Nico.
Hey, Nico's here.
Hi, everybody.
Nico's coming to work today. Did we lock the front door?
I think so.
I like to hope so.
I'm gonna go check.
Be careful, there's a wire right there.
Oh,
There's
jeez.
also a Wild Ziggy.
Yeah, we've already messed that up, so this ought to be fun. Let's watch this.
Prepare for Shake-A-Vision. Yeah.
All right. So, moving on, Dale Palmer asks, do you think that a DI is needed to run a Strymon Iridium or Walrus ACS1 into a PA?
No.
Right.
Especially depending on the PA. If the PA already has a built-in preamp, you certainly don't. But yeah, the DI situation, like, unless you... Well, no, because it's already simulating the cab, you really shouldn't need to.
Yeah, you should be able to just go right in. Iridium right to the board.
Yeah, DI would be like if you actually wanted to, record it simultaneously while running it out to a PA, you could go that route too. But you could even just run out of especially with like the Iridium, you could just run out of the secondary out right into an interface and then run the other one out to the PA, and then you're recording both. And to me, that's like my favorite thing about the Iridium is not having to deal with microphones. It doesn't pick up all the weird shit that happens in a room.
Right. Because we use it for
a lot of stuff,
for demo stuff where we just don't have to. For those that know, we have there's a recording studio, and we don't have the recording studio, but there is a recording studio right next to our shop currently, and so sometimes we just can't demo something without it just being too loud, especially if when we did the Demogorgon video.
Right. We had to make special.
We had to make sure that nobody was there recording next door, otherwise they would have been pissed.
Right.
So, yeah, it's always a good thing. I like it because you don't have to worry about all that stuff. It sounds really good.
To me, it sounds amazing. Yeah, to me, like
so good.
Yeah, like I even on the Astral video, I ended up running, rather than running the reverb into the front end, I went ahead and ran the Iridium into that, and then ran that into the interface to simulate more of the situation you would have with an amp. And I think that was a more interesting and clear way to run it. So it's like, to me, it's flexible. It sounds amazing. You don't have to run, anything secondary to it other than possibly an interface for recording, but that's about it. The ACS1, we haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah. We'll figure out once we get one.
Right, I'm assuming that one is, running pretty much the same because it's also simulating an amp and cab, so should be no reason you would need to run a DI unless you had, another concern going on.
Yep.
And actually, I'm excited to try both. To me, the ACS1 just seems...
It seems really cool. I saw Henning did a video because he's got both of them,
Right. Well, I was going to say, to me, it's one of the... I feel like it's more of a clean platform version, which makes sense coming from a pedal company like them. Anyway. Moving on to Greg Block from Shred Ain't Dead.
Shred Ain't Dead! Check out that channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Speaking of Strymon, he says, any word on new Strymon pedals? He was wondering if there's going to be a high-gain version of the Iridium, or if they're finally going to make an all-in-one unit like a Kemper or a Helix. I can't say I've heard anything in particular, because I guess, that could sort of segue into the discussion of NAMM would have been...
I think... Well, usually Strymon is pretty tight-lipped until it's time. We only know... some companies are like, hey, we've been dealers for them for a while, so they're like, yeah, we kind of got this thing cooking with... They might give us a hint, like, yeah, we got this thing cooking, it's going to be kind of a cool reverb. Oh, that's great, we're looking forward to it.
Right.
We get a heads up sometimes from Or we'll know that a pedal coming out much sooner or much earlier than you guys would know because we're pre-ordering them.
Right.
But usually Strymon is pretty tight-lipped until it's time to go, hey, we got this now.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, they're...
Now this thing is available.
Right.
That's kind of how the Iridium was. It's like, hey, we got this now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, Strymon has got to be one of the most tight-lipped, which makes sense, because, I mean, if anything were to really escape about their stuff, it would kind of, it would deflate the initial hype.
Right,
you want to keep that going, which not all companies do, but some companies also like to
make sure it's got a nice plumage.
Right.
When the release is, you want to have a nice plumage.
Well, I think a lot of companies like to be teases too. Like some of them, they don't care like if people figure it out a little bit early, and then there's other ones that like they kind of want to just launch it their way and exclusively their way, which I can respect both. So.
Totally.
But yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say as far as a high gain version, I mean, I don't know why they would do that, but you have options inside the Iridium that you may be able to play with. Maybe there might be more.
Well, I don't know that you can get. Yeah, I don't
know.
Yeah, I mean, with because Greg has one now, so I mean, I'm sure he's messed with. Because I know with the Marshall setting, the mids control and I believe the treble control, as you kind of crank those up, will start to also add a little bit more gain, but more gain in those, especially in those frequencies, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to me, I think with where they hit it, I think it caps out at a very comfortable spot for most people, and I think they assume other people will just throw an overdrive in the front end for the rest of it. Yeah, which I mean, I could kind of see like I think that'd be cool if they did that, like if they almost did, somehow were able to encapsulate like a Mesa or something. But it's like I don't know that they'll do that. Like I feel like the three that they chose are the three that everybody kind of expects and wants, and diverging much from that is just going to cause people to argue. So
they're going to argue anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I feel like Fender, Vox, and Marshall, like almost anybody that plays guitar has got to respect one of those sounds, at least one.
But there's somebody that's going to be like,
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, that's all commercial crap.
But even as the foundation, I mean, like Fender alone is worth respect just for the foundational aspect of what they kind of laid the groundwork for. Because, I mean, a lot of other amps are, I mean, everybody's kind of in the fashion of Fender. I mean, it just goes all the way back, so. But anyway, I mean, I think it'd be cool. I just don't know if it'll happen. I guess that's where we'll.
Yeah, and as far as an all-in-one, I don't. I mean, it'd be cool, I guess, but I don't foresee that happening.
No, I mean, I feel like that's kind of like what almost
it would
like
be like really expensive.
Well, it would
but
be.
Then it's also, but then what you're also doing is you're going into different territory because now you are competing with the Kemper. Stuff.
Yeah, you're
getting into a whole other.
Well, you're traipsing into even Tide's territory. Because I mean, like their H9, I mean, I feel like it's kind of in that vein of things. But it's if Strymon did it, the algorithms are what you'd really be paying for.
Right.
And like, would it really do it as well as the standalone units? I don't know. And then that's a whole nother layer of controversy that they probably don't want to encourage either.
But then you also have all the tooling. You have to figure out how to make the damn thing work. Well, there's a lot of R&D that goes in with that too.
Well, and they also
it can be pretty pricey when you're already spending. You're already selling your stuff pretty well. Like
they would be risking not only devaluing but possibly making their own stuff obsolete. I mean, I think that would be the biggest thing. Would be like if they made it completely obsolete, their own products obsolete. I don't know that they would do it because like TC, like TC waited forever, and then they finally did this like tone print. Like I forgot what it was called, but it's like this all-in-one thing where you can load up any tone print you want on any of the sections that are on there. And it's like I was wondering why they didn't do that like 10 years ago when they were kind of first starting to peak with the whole tone print thing. But now, like, they finally did it, and now it's kind of too late, because now people have moved on to things like the Helix and...
other things have been kind of created.
Right, there's other things that are...
TC's just going to Amazon anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, after the Behringer sale, they kind of ceased to be what TC used to be, but...
Yeah,
which is sad.
It's only going to be TC, Bulgara, Behringer, it's all going... It's either going to Amazon or Sweetwater.
Is it really? Okay, well, yeah. Exclusivity.
Yeah.
Monopolies don't exist.
Yeah. The big get bigger. That's okay. You can have that shit. We don't want it.
Yeah. It's pedestrian.
You can have that. Yeah. You can have that shit. We don't want it. Anyway. Oh, So there's a good, if you're on Amazon, watch The History of Swear Words. It's great. Don't, as long as you're not offended.
Is that on Amazon or Netflix?
I think it's on Amazon.
Okay, I thought
I don't know. It could be on.
I think it's on Netflix with Nick Cage.
Yeah, I watched it. You know, obviously the F word is the first episode, which is fantastic. It tells you the history, all the different usages, and it's like, I don't know, you know, purveyors of fine curse words,
weavers of tapestries.
Of curse words. Some days we get quite creative here. So
yes,
but anyway, watch that. It's a good show. Unless you're like a little kid and get in trouble with your parents, but you probably wouldn't be watching anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Most likely.
Yeah, we're no.
I don't think we're.
Who's the big kid YouTuber? Is there any?
Big Kid Todd? I'm just kidding.
Big Kid Todd. Monsters.
He's the son of Big Head Todd. Yeah.
He's around here somewhere, isn't he? Isn't he in Denver?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it.
All right. Yeah.
We're like,
we wandered off far enough.
Yeah, before you're like, no, pardon me. What's up? All right. All right, well, thanks for sticking around. Anybody that was new here, we appreciate you guys being here. Click the bell so you know when we have demos coming out. Subscribe if you're not, all that good stuff. Go to our website if you need gear. We ship out all over the place. And thanks, everybody, for the support. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side.